Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Art, Beauty, Equilibrium podcast. Y'all know where y'all at. It's
Yep.
April 13th. Coming from you live from Los Angeles, California. Shima, what we got today?
Happy Tuesday, April 13th. We have the passing of iconic rap legend DMX. We're going to talk about that this morning. Also, we have the series, the docu-series in Sci-Fi. Them, it's about a South Los Angeles neighborhood, basically Compton, in the 1950s. They're catching some heat over the fact that they're saying that it's trauma porn. Trauma porn. I don't know if you guys have heard of that word before, but it was new to me. So we're going to talk about it and some other issues this morning. Let's get to it.
What up, Damon? What up, Larry?
What up, y'all?
What up, y'all? What up?
So, DMX.
Hey, man.
Legend.
Exactly.
Why all the great ones got to go, bro? You know,
The real dog on the track.
this dude, how Swiss Beats, him and Swiss Beats they must have had a phenomenal relationship. Swiss Beats, in his interview said that, DMX always gave. Like, even if he had his last, he, was always giving, and stuff.
He had a good heart.
He had a good heart. And, going back, when you hear about his past, about how his moms gave him up when he was a kid, and, how the cat that he was looking up to, gave him some drugs that he definitely, didn't need. Like this dude, he had a lot of pain in his life, and he put that in his music, and he was able to,
Really express,
express
himself
his pain
and
through his music, and he made some
you could feel it.
phenomenal records, man. He two
It's funny
platinum albums in 1 year.
Because we haven't been hearing his music obviously, but when this happened, you start hearing it again. It's like, yo, he had a lot of records.
He had a lot of records, man. It took me back, man, when I was a teenager, and was like listening to, all I would listen to was Jay-Z, DMX, and Notorious Big in my car back then. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, you hopped in my car, that's all you was listening to. You want something else, you have to get out of my car.
That Hard Knock Life tour.
Oh my! And the Hard Knock Life tour. I forgot I went to that shit. Man, that was an amazing concert. Man, when he said when he did his prayer at that shit. Oh my God! Like you didn't have a tear in your eye, man.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I was just listening to that prayer. It just came up, in my random on in my car yesterday. It really hit different. I'm like. I was like, shit, like this dude really gone. Like this dude was.
He was going.
He was a phenomenal man.
I think his
phenomenal
delivery,
artist.
his delivery is probably like what stood out the most. I think as an artist,
Yeah.
Like,
What's up, AJ? What's up,
I
Too
don't
Much
think-
Crutch?
I don't think I've ever paid attention necessarily to DMX bars. Not saying he didn't have them, but I was so caught up in the aggression.
Hey, his style and just
Yeah.
aggressiveness.
I know.
Yeah.
Right,
It was just
right.
He didn't say anything at that point.
Hey, he was barking.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Bart and had us listening to that, but he put it together.
I mean, he
honed in on that character.
He really made the Rough Rider movement.
Yeah.
Like
he was a dog.
Yeah, like everybody, from the East Coast to the West Coast had Rough Rider jackets on their motorcycles. Man, that dude was amazing.
Damon said the Hard Knock Life tour was very hazy.
Right, exactly. I do want to say, too, that DMX had a way of bringing the reality of life that we all go through, to the forefront. He did not, sugarcoat. He was very truthful and honest about the things that he's gone through, the struggles that some people tend to hide and be ashamed of and maybe not grow from. He was able to put out there and make you feel a little bit better, make you feel comfortable, make you understand the struggle, And
I love that he, even though he was struggling with so many things, like we all do, that may run contrary to Bible principles, but that man knew his Bible. He was always reading it. He was always talking about it. And that to me is like, I like that because a lot of people sometimes feel like you ain't in a position to say nothing godly
Right.
when you have all these other things going on in your life, and that's not true.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's not
Right.
true.
Yeah.
And he was somebody who, if you look back at all his interviews and all the little impromptu moments he had on camera and even off camera, the stories you hear about him, he was like a real deal rock star. Like
Yeah.
everything he did was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Remember that? Remember that
was-
one performance where he had everybody? It was like a crowd. It was a bunch of white people.
Woodstock.
He had the whole crowd.
Woodstock.
That's
we,
what.
Yeah, we had the overall shorts. The red ones,
Yeah.
the Tims.
So when you say like
That
a
was
rock
Woodstock.
star,
Yeah, because
he had that crowd. Man, they was out there going wow.
Exactly. And I did like to also mention, I didn't want to mention the fact that he was a great family man. He had 15 kids, and the energy that you
I thought it
always
was
see.
17.
It may be 17. I
Hey,
think I
man.
read 17 first, and then I read 15 like twice yesterday. But you know, whatever the case, I think that DMX as an artist, you really got to see him express his love to his children. I think that's something that you don't see often.
Yeah.
And he had a sense of humor.
Yeah, he did have a funny
I remember
sense of
this
humor.
interview where they asked him about Drake, and he said, "I don't like anything about Drake. I don't like his haircut. I don't like the way he walks. I don't like the way he talks."
Right.
I don't think you was joking about that.
Yeah, he said nothing about him.
Right.
Because well, think about it. Drake is like so opposite
Right.
of DMX, man.
Right,
That's
right.
a different time, you know.
And
like
where they come from is like
we didn't have no Drakes when we in that era, did we? When we had DMX and then we didn't have no Drakes.
Nah.
Maybe Will Smith or something.
Hey man, I don't know if y'all saw that movie. Was it Top 5 with Chris Rock? And Chris Rock went to jail, and DMX was in there, and,
Oh, yeah,
Chris Rock
yeah.
was like, "What are you doing in here?" He's like, "What am I doing in here?"
yeah,
Like,
I'm DMX.
I mean,
Right.
like this,
I
like
just saw that.
You know, but it's funny because it goes back to what Swiss Beats was saying. He was like, DMX just go to jail to get some serenity. Like, what the, what?
Right.
Like, the dude went to jail to get some peace.
Bruh.
Man, if that ain't crazy, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Yeah, that's why his sister spoke out. I don't know if you've seen it, but
was telling me
after his
about that.
passing, his sister spoke out and pretty much said he was like abandoned as like a child. You know what I mean? Like, so I really understood after hearing that, like his, you know how big he was on loyalty
Yeah.
and like unconditional love.
Yeah.
Well, a
Like,
lot
that
of
kind of
times-
put that into perspective. Like, that's
Yeah.
big.
Because if you get abandoned like that, you know, a lot of times people can either grow up and be either real cold, you know, and follow in that abandonment, or they're like overcompensate with like just being real passionate or loving and
That's
like
true.
a giver. And
Right,
it's probably
right.
why it was like that.
Yeah.
You know,
And you remember just being in the club or something when what the midgets want from when that came on, man.
Brenda,
Crazy.
Letitia, Glenda.
That's how y'all the kids.
He had bars.
Hey, man,
Hey, that's
song-
one of the coldest bars though, man.
Yeah.
He named like 30
Right.
girls.
about 4 Kims.
Latoya.
Let's
Yeah.
also
You know,
recognize the fact that not only was he a rapper, but let's get into these movies. Belly.
Man,
Man.
Hey,
We just
forgot about
finished
the
watching
movie.
it.
Okay.
we had to put Belly on. We had
Hey,
to
right.
do it.
Listen
we
to
just
me.
watched- We
Excellent
just
ones.
watched
Crazy
Keisha.
Ray.
Listen,
Right.
listen. Yo, that was classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a great actor.
Yeah.
Man.
Maybe he was acting himself a little bit though too. It's easy.
Yeah.
Then.
Playing
It was
himself.
too smooth. Yeah,
It was too smooth.
Great. Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is when you got him and Nas riding in the car, and Nas.
Oh, he
is-
be like,
and-
fuck a book.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Nas is like, I don't know if I'm reading books, man. You know, what's the purpose of life? He's like, ain't no purpose. Get money.
Yeah. That was fire, bro.
Sound like wifey talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was cold, man. And then what's the other one he did with Aaliyah?
Romeo Must Die.
Yeah,
Romeo Must
that was
Die.
cold, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
man.
made he was like a natural.
They
on
rested
the
in
screen,
peace
man.
together now.
Yeah,
that's
he was.
interesting.
That's
Aaliyah
hard,
and
man.
X.
They're
Yeah.
gonna be making some dope
And they
music
had a
over
record
heaven.
together, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he speak at the beginning of her the video that came out after she passed? Wasn't it like a little scene?
I'm not sure. I don't
think
remember
so.
I think he did do that. But yeah, just a super legend, man. From the prayers to the asthma.
He was one of a
to the-
kind.
yeah, I seen shows where he had a full blown asthma attack and still came back out and
Yeah.
killed it. Like
Yeah, man.
he's up there. Him and Busta Rhymes to me is like, as far as energy on stage performers,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that energy.
Oh, yeah.
can't beat that, man.
Yeah.
I seen somebody posted he did a whole song like on top of the speakers where when you see an artist get so high the security is like uncomfortable.
Right.
He rocked the whole show from up there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. X, we gonna miss you, bro.
Yep, man.
We
gonna miss the shit out of you, man.
We gonna miss you,
Rest
dog.
in
I feel
Rest
you,
in
AJ.
peace.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shoot,
man.
he was one of the best. So, moving along, man. Rest up, DMX. This is crazy right here. The black trauma porn.
Yeah, we
Black trauma porn. So what exactly is black trauma porn for those who don't know?
I'm kind of understanding it to be like you got people that just feel like, we had enough of seeing black people struggle and die and be mutilated
Right.
and violated and violence performed against them on film. And I was really conflicted over that because someone asked me about that and I really had to really think about like how I feel about that because I get it. Like it is a lot of that going on. A lot.
Yeah.
But it kind of got, in my opinion, mixed up with like attacking like one or two specific people. And my thing is like, okay, we are portrayed that way a lot, and it's not always the best form of entertainment. But then that is happening. It is happening currently. Like we just had someone who just recently got slain out here in the streets. And then you look at all the violence that goes on in the community. So I was really conflicted because, on one hand, it's like enough is enough. But on the other hand, it's like, man, this stuff is really going on.
Right.
And
so how do y'all feel about that?
Told, how do you tell the story and then face the aftermath of the feelings that happen after you see what really happened?
Exactly. I mean, for one, I can understand if these are some whack movies, but I just watched them. Shout out to Lynden and the whole team. That was amazing. Like,
Right.
it was triggering, and with the stuff that resonated in the film, of course, but it was a great show.
I think it just depends on who it is. You got people that feel like Jay, like, man, it's just entertainment. It's a great flick.
I mean, but it's informative. When I heard that this actually happened in Compton,
Right.
I mean,
That part.
it's like, sure enough, I get tired of hearing, all the things that happen to black folks, but we still need to see this.
Right.
Because maybe, one, we need to wake up and stop killing each other. That's number one. So
Right.
maybe it can
That
probably
part,
help
man.
us to stop killing each other, and we can finally come together,
That's a bar, man.
Yeah.
and fight against everybody else who's oppressing us. That's
Right.
that's number one.
For me,
But this was a great movie. I mean, and sure enough, yes, don't get me wrong. I want to see some movies that have, black superheroes and black wizards and all this other stuff. But instead of knocking, the people, the team who made this, why don't we just go and make some movies with superheroes, with black people?
But what if it's a way to keep messing with us though? Because I know for some of us, like for me, I watch shit like that, I get mad. You know what I'm saying? I get a little irritated.
I mean, but this is my thing, right? And I hear you, right?
You know what I'm saying?
We're not talking about none of this for our music.
But
They're not saying, "Oh, I'm getting so tired of people talking about guns and music."
But think about it though.
Come on, man.
What if the shoe was on the other foot? Like, is Hollywood going around showing all these different movies about where we doing, cruise shit like that to them?
Because we don't do cruise shit
well,
to nobody but ourselves.
No, we do
point-
some cruise shit.
To that point, it still happened. It's something that
Damon said Dr.
still-
Reverend PBJ Jr.
Yes,
it's still.
I'm gonna
it's
take
still
that today,
happened.
Damon.
And I want to say that the gag is the fact that these are people, like Jay said, have been oppressed, and it hasn't been really something that has happened to people who've never been oppressed that's on the level of this. When you have redlining, you have slavery, you have
stuff
Facts.
like this. Stuff like this needs to be seen.
You
We
have
need
all
to
these
see
things
this
that
stuff.
have happened for years, and maybe it's not going to be a story where it's them. The shoe can be put on the other foot because it hasn't happened to them. So I don't know.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes it's just
You feel it's harmful.
Yes, because if you think about it, like if I get irritated about it, I'm sure there's maybe another person in the world who irritation level may be higher than mine with that
Right,
shit.
right,
And he may want to go out and start just harming white folks.
Right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Just because this shit is so, I mean, some of that stuff will hurt you when you watch it. Like when I seen the movie Jenga, the way they was doing some of them black, that had me hot.
Now, I give you that, right? But once again, if we gonna cancel anything, right, we need to cancel this music about each other. We killing each other. That's where we need to start. If we want to start anywhere,
Right.
we need to stop talking all this music about how we carrying guns and shit. You know, like if we want to really start somewhere,
But
you know.
But to piggyback off of that, that was my energy because when I heard it, the confliction was, yes, of course, we see that a lot and we only portray it in certain ways. It's like the blaxploitation era, you know, when we can only be pimps and drug dealers. I get that part. But then on the flip side, the African American woman who's getting drugged through the social media right now for producing and directing like a few of those episodes, right, of them.
Lean away.
Lean away, yeah.
Okay.
Like, come on now. We can't hate on each other for making these movies. Like, didn't the Django win all these awards by
Right.
Quentin Tarantino?
Exactly.
Didn't 12 Years a Slave win all these awards?
Exactly.
Color Purple, like, was Roots black trauma porn? You know what I mean? Like, how far does this go? I feel like sometimes that self-hate, like, that's a movie. It's reality that makes that stuff look lightweight. You know what I mean? People really out here getting drugged down the street by trucks and, you know, all kind of different things is going on, and still today, like people are dying right
Yeah,
now,
I'll tell you
just got
this.
getting found
somebody just
hung
got
on
murdered.
trees.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I
I'll
think-
tell you this: seeing a series about something that happened historically doesn't make me feel worse about seeing somebody get killed on a body camera. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on my timeline every other week, every other month,
But
you
how do
know,
they-
several times a year. It doesn't make me feel any better about seeing somebody basically being racially profiled out here in the streets, or just, you know, trying to go home. It doesn't make me feel any better about watching something on the news about another group, you know, get hated on. It's like stuff out here that needs to be addressed, but at the same time, I don't think we need to be like, and I hate to say this, I don't think we need to be like haters about our stuff, you know, about the
Right.
culture.
I'm just
you know.
personally, I'm leaning more towards. I think we could kind of go without it, because think about it. The way they portray black folks on TV, it ain't really positive for the most part.
Time out. And I get
See,
you.
you
know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Now, like I said, gotta watch the show, right? Because this movie portrays a positive black family. And what happens when...
But that's still the whoop-de-wop to me, Jay. It's
But
a positive black family, but now they getting, you know.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a positive black family trying to better themselves.
Right.
There is no... They didn't do anything. It was brought to them.
Right, but that's still negative energy though surrounding black folks. Like it's never.
But
like,
it's not even just this series. Like what they've coined, you know, black trauma porn even applies to Get Out. It applies to like all
Us,
these
they said
movies,
Us also.
Us, everything. So my thing is like, I get it. Like we need equilibrium, we need balance, we need to have,
I
like
see
you
what
said,
you did there.
yeah, you said I did that. Yeah, we need like the superhero movies, the positive
Yeah.
roles, just like the regular day. Like we
feel
don't have
like
any Seinfelds and the like. What happened to? We need more shows like the Cosby Show,
right.
Blackish,
There's
more
a plethora
movies.
of them shows with
Yeah.
the mother, but we don't have that many shows. And when we get movies, they got us either playing a lot of times, you know, drug dealers and this and that, or it's just not a lot of positive roles for black people. And then we come out with something like this, and then we get, you know, killed and shit.
But you
in these
gotta
racial
understand,
films and different
Our
things.
past, we came from the dirt. So it's not like we didn't have the same opportunities that, you know, most, you know, different races had. So we
I get
came
what
from
you're
the
saying,
dirt
too.
of coming from pimps and drug dealers and stuff like that. You know, like I said, you know, when they show, I think, you know, honestly what I think this is, right, it's a depiction of making white people look bad, right? And black people just trying to live their lives, and people don't want to see that. It's
See
like-
that I agree with you. I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of people to watch this. It's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but like it's uncomfortable for a lot of stuff to happen. That doesn't mean like I just want to put my shutters on and I don't want you to. Like I've seen people posting if you trying to share a video of a black man getting killed by a white police officer, like, you know, you can miss me with that. I'm gonna have to unfollow you. Like, that's how deep this is starting to go.
Right.
Where it's like we're gonna start refusing the reality and a whole genre of like creativity. Like, this is art. So I feel like it's hard enough for African Americans to get equal opportunities, especially women. You know, this is an African American woman who's doing her thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You going that way.
And now you limiting the outlets. Oh, so now we can't even do movies that show us getting harmed. That's not our reality.
Right.
Exactly.
Do we walk around these streets not getting harmed?
Right.
No, we get harmed.
Exactly.
All right then. So like, I agree. We need, like, let's have more parity, but that's not us. How come you got to ask Hollywood why y'all not green lighting the movies where we doing regular stuff?
Because they don't want to see that.
Why y'all not funding?
This is my question. It's kind of like, well, I want to say this. They did this. The history books that we had in school were done the same way, because in my opinion, you sugarcoat a lot of history. You sugarcoat stuff out here. You have groups of people who don't know about the struggles of other people. You have people who don't know history themselves. You have people talking about something that they don't even know about and thinking that the reality around them is something different. But they did the same thing with the history books, and if you don't put the truth on film, in media, in a book or whatever, then we'll be living in a glass house and we won't know exactly what is going on. And that's why we can't even relate to some of the things that these people are going through.
You're saying that's our only way we
don't
got to
even
get
know
it out.
that that's real. It's some people right now you've gone to college, you've got your master's degree, and there's people right now every day coming out saying, "Oh, I didn't know."
So the media is like the last platform we pretty much got then to get out what happened to us. Once we get rid of that, nobody know what's going on.
And a lot of our things that we have in this country are so it's just kind of like it's convoluted to me or whatever, because you have like a lot of things, a lot of historical things, and you see in the past year and a half, a lot of these things have been torn down. You have things on college campuses. You have landmarks across the United States or whatever. But when you look at the truth and the history behind some of these things, it's so critical to tell the story of how it came about, because it's people out here, it's Indians out here still hurting from that, from their ancestors being taken away and stripped of something, you know.
Exactly.
And so we just need to realize that we have to face the trauma and go through it. And maybe if we all recognize it, instead of one group of people just hurting and seeing our people always being devastated, you know what I mean, we can get on with it. But anyway, that's just my little 2 cents.
No, that's factual, man. I'm glad you dropped that, man. Like I said, man, you know, one thing, our energy is going towards the wrong place.
Exactly.
You know,
always distractions.
Michael Jackson warned us in that song.
What up, Nick?
They don't care about us. What up, Mr. Garthang?
All I want to say is that they don't really
make sure
care
y'all
about
check
us.
out Nick Garthang right after us on his podcast.
Come on at 9.
Yes.
About 4 minutes.
Yep. As soon as we wrap it up, you can go check his show out. They're very funny, very talented.
Mr. Nick Garthang. But man, once again, we need to come together and not, keep, bashing. This was, like I said, a great show. Whoever didn't see it, go check it out for yourselves.
And that's
keep
another
an open mind.
thing. Like,
keep an open mind. A lot of people be so closed-minded. Keep an open mind when watching this. Yeah, it has a little trauma to it, but a lot of stuff had trauma. Boys in the Hood, phenomenal movie. It had trauma. Men's Society, trauma. It's you need some type of.
Okay, but then let me play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's say this wins, right? And it's no more black trauma porn, right? So now we only depict it in positive ways, but you're still getting shot, you're still getting killed, still crime out here.
That could be a result from watching that shit that's that bad. If you start depicting us in a more positive manner, that's going to influence the masses at some point. Maybe we won't be out here just killing each other.
So life imitates art.
So you're
Pretty
saying
much.
that
see, I would go to say
that
this.
TV is powerful.
I listen to a lot of crazy ass music. I watch a lot of crazy content.
That's you.
Listen, I get that. But if you are that easily influenced, right, by the media and the things that, you know, you watch or look at, that's another conversation because this is art.
George, that's damn near the whole world.
No, what I'm saying is to the point where are we looking at that and saying that's what's responsible for us getting harmed? We've been getting harmed before it was movies.
No, but you said something
it wasn't
about,
even
but you said
motion
something about
pictures yet.
the way they depict us on film.
Yeah.
So if they were to depict us differently, I do feel that people in the world would eventually start to portray what they see. If we see the Cosbys on the television all the time, we may start to act different. But if we watching bullshit,
I disagree, bro.
Now,
for the most part.
Now, let's because all I could do is just go to this one show that we're talking about. Now, if we depict what we saw from the show, because like I said, am I the only one who saw it?
No. I mean, yes, you are. You are.
So, like I said,
I've seen a little bit of it.
Once you see it, right?
Yeah.
The only depiction y'all gonna get is excuse my language, is going after the people who was doing it, right? Not each other.
Right.
It won't be black on black. It'll be black on somebody, you know. So if it's gonna be a depiction, it's gonna be something way different than what we get in the streets right now.
Right.
You know?
But I'm just saying, look.
And we don't want that either, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, like I said, it is a great show.
Right. But that's just that show though. We talking about black trauma in general though.
just general. It's not just that
so that
one
could
show.
be a good ass show.
Yeah, that could be good, but they talking about the overall depiction of us. And all I'm saying
And
is
I don't
that
like how they depict us overall at all.
And just Two Perfect Strangers, right? It was only a 30-minute show on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. You just have to go see it, man.
I do have to touch on these two things before we leave. Number one, another Minnesota's shooting, the killing of Dante Wright. Rest in peace. 20-year-old had a 1-year-old son. Was killed on Sunday. This is also the same city and state where George Floyd was slain, and Derek, Chauvin's trial is actually happening right now. Rest in peace, to him. Right. Another police shooting. It's sad, just like we're talking about now. What is to be done about it? Also, Bruce Beach. Shout out to Janice Hahn and Los Angeles County. They're going to return the iconic Bruce Beach in Manhattan Beach portion to the descendants of the Bruce family.
That's big.
So that's big.
Bruce Beach.
Just like we're talking about now, some of the wrongs that are done, the wrongs that were done in the past, it's time to be rectified. It's time. It's a reawakening. People need to do better. So.
And that's what I think these shows is going to do, is help us get to that point of getting that reawakening, because we got to understand. We got to understand our history before we go to our present and future. Y'all.
Exactly.
And I was just saying, before there was even a television, before there was a magazine, they was killing us.
Facts.
So I don't think, one is going to change the other, because it predates it. So
they had us killing each other too, right?
Huh?
They had us fighting each other and different things too, right? For entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's entertainment. It went from that to the television. The television is entertainment. So I think even the TV, we wasn't nothing technical back then. It wasn't around yet.
Right.
But they took the television, in my opinion, and put what they were doing to us behind closed doors to us and having us do to each other, and they put it on that motherfucker.
But what's the nature of the threat? It's not entertainment. That's all I'm saying. The nature of the threat is what it is.
But I think it helps influence it though.
You know what? I do believe that, some music, movies, it can influence people. I agree with that. But that's not our number one enemy. Like when you look at across the board, like it's deeper than that.
It's systemic.
That's just a manifestation
it's systemic.
Right.
So,
of a problem.
Yeah, it's systemic. That's what we have to understand. We have to dismantle these institutions and these things that are happening to us, because it's systemic. So if one thing
that was
happens,
much too much. Damn. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shima.
Yeah, if one thing happens, it's just not a result of that one
Oh, my
action
bad.
that
Too
happened.
much
I think
curse.
it's like a very systemic issue that we have to basically uncover, unpack, and resolve. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Hit the conspiracy button.
Shit to Jay.
Right.
David said hit the conspiracy button.
It's too late, man.
Yeah.
That's the show, yo.
It's a brand.
We'll check y'all next week, everybody.
All right,
Have a good
y'all.
one.
Remember
y'all
to hit
later.
the like button. Remember to share. We also have, you can text us now at 424
Yeah, hit the like
401
button.
0509 and be in direct contact with us. We'll keep you up to date on new shows and different developments we have. Also,
Right.
if you need a haircut or your hairstyle, remember we are also licensed professional barbers and beauticians. Y'all have a beautiful week. Thank you for joining us.
Peace.
Have a good one. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Hit it, G.
We can turn the ground. Kick it up. Kick it up.